For the third time this parliamentary fortnight, the government are talking tough on terror.
We've introduced a bill that will ensure terrorists and their supporters are kept behind bars.
Currently, the government doesn't have the power to keep some of those, and if they're serving a sentence for a separate offence longer than their terror sentence. But how many of the 11 terrorists actually benefit from the current loophole, the government isn't saying. They've also been accused of keeping Labor in the dark.
Has Labor been briefed on particular laws that are going to Parliament?
No, we haven't, or I haven't been. This is a government that hasn't been great when it comes to appropriate consultation. Our national security legislation and it should be bipartisan.
The coalition says the laws, which include a presumption against bail and parole for terrorists, are in part a response to the 2017 Brighton siege, where 2 people were killed and 2 police officers shot. Yaqub Khairi carried out the attack months after being released on parole over violent offences. The laws will now be reviewed by Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee prior to any vote later this year. But in a sitting fortnight where Labor have accused the government of being devoid of any agenda, the coalition has been keen to ramp up the rhetoric on national security.
The same was true of protecting Australia against foreign terrorist fighters. 40 amendments the Labor Party said needed to be in place for that bill. None of this. And they still voted for it, voting again for things they don't believe in.
Last week, Labor tried to eventually supported temporary exclusion powers, just as it did today when it supported extending ASIO's powers and questioned terrorists for another 12 months.
I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Bipartisan backing for narrative alive for now, but increasingly a cause of conflict in the 46th Parliament. Brendan Smith, News, Canberra.